in this video, we are going to talk about another special product, which is sum and difference of two binomials. So to get the product of sum and difference of two binomials, you're going to use this pattern here. So we have quantity A plus B times quantity A minus B. And if you will be getting the product of those sum and difference of two binomials, it will become like this. So A squared minus B squared. So given that the first terms of both binomial are the same and their last terms are also the same. So these are the steps in finding the product of sum and difference of two binomials. The first thing that you need to do is you need to square the first term and then square the last term of the binomials and then put a minus sign separating the two terms. Now let us solve some examples regarding sum and difference of two binomials. Our first two examples. So again, reminder lang po, dapat the given binomial should have the same first terms and last terms. Okay? And they should be separated by a plus sign and a minus sign. Kaya siya tinawag na sum and difference of two binomials. And in order to get the product of these expressions using shortcut method, we should follow these steps. So we have example number 1. We have quantity x plus 4 times quantity x minus 4. So first thing that we need to do is we need to square the first term. And in this case, the first term is x. So we need to square x. So the answer here is x squared, or x raised to the second power. And then the next step is we need to square the last term. So the last term here is 4. So we need to square 4. Just don't mind the signs, okay? So 4 raised to the second power can be simply written as 16. Okay? And then we need to combine these products and put a minus sign to separate the two terms. So we need to first write the first product, which is x raised to the second power, and then we need to put a minus sign to separate the terms and then put 16. The answer here is x raised to the second power minus 16. For example, number 1. For example, number 2, we have quantity 2a plus 3 times quantity 2a minus 3. So these are sum and difference of two binomials. Applying the steps, we need to square the first term. So the first term is 2a. We need to square it. So using the power rule, power rule in laws of exponents, now we need to distribute 2 to each term here. So it will become 2 raised to the second power, a raised to the second power. And then we can still simplify 2 raised to the second power. Now it can be written as 4. And then let's copy a raised to the second power. And then next step is square the last term. The last term is 3. So we need to square 3. No, and the answer is 9. And then combining these products, we have 4a raised to the second power. And then we need to always put a minus sign separating the two terms. So minus 9. And this is now the answer for example number 2. So we have 4a raised to the second power minus 9. Next, for example number 3, we have quantity xy plus x times quantity xy minus x. So again, applying these steps for sum and difference of two binomials, we need to square the first term, which is xy. So applying the power rule or in the loss of exponent. So we need to distribute 2 to each variable here. So we have x raised to the second power, y raised to the second power. And the next step is we need to square the last term. The last term is x. So we have x raised to the second power. Then we need to rewrite the product. So the first term is x raised to the second power, y raised to the second power. And then put a minus sign to separate the two terms. So minus x raised to the second power. This is now our product. So we have x raised to the second power, y raised to the second power, minus x raised to the second power. And then for our last example, this is also a sum and difference of two binomials. So following the steps, we need to square the first term. The first term is x raised to the second power. So we need to square this. So again, applying the power rule in the loss of exponent, we need to multiply these two exponents here. So x raised to 2 times 2 is 4. And that is now your first product. Next step is square the last term. So the last term is 5y. We need to square it. And then, applying the power rule, we need to distribute 2 to each term inside the parenthesis. So we have 5 raised to the second power, y raised to the second power. Simplifying this, we now have 25y raised to the second power. And then combining these products, we have x raised to the fourth power, and then put a minus sign. So minus 25y raised to the second power. This is the product for example number 4. And that's it. That is how you find the product of sum and difference of two binomials using the shortcut method.